Hello, hello, hello. This is a bit of an experiment for me. I've decided to do this for 6 weeks and see how it goes. And I've never gone live on YouTube before, so kind of, you know, hang with me. A little bit nervous about this to see what happens. I thought we would do some deep dives into some tarot cards. If I get any questions, if you want me to draw a card for you too, I will do that. You can ask me a question, I'll draw a card for you in answer, and I'll explain why that card is the answer. So if you're learning tarot, this is especially good, because what it will mean is that you can see why I'm saying what I'm saying. I'm not just taking cards and kind of holding it up and going, this is the answer. I'm going to explain it to you, and I'm going to leave nothing to the imagination. So we'll be able to do this and do it properly, so you can see how this works. So then when you want to draw a card for yourself, hopefully then it will get easier and it will make more sense to you, right? Because that's the problem, isn't it? When we take cards and then we look in the book, it's really difficult to make sense of that book meaning. Okay, so let's have a look. So I just recently did a video on yes no questions, and I think that's quite interesting, because yes no questions should be really simple, shouldn't they? But they never are. That's because they're not actually as simple as tarot. Tarot wants to lead us to, well, not tarot, no, we want to think they are. Tarot doesn't think they're simple at all, because they are closed questions, and tarot doesn't like closed questions. And tarot will go, yes, but have you thought of it like this? Anyway, let's have a look. So what I'll do is I'll just start the ball rolling, and let's see, I have actually got a couple of questions here which I've been asked to ask. They're not in the feed at the moment, but they were emailed to me. So these people can't make the live, but they want to watch later. So I said I would. So we'll do that in a minute. Okay. So I'm using the Life Code deck. This is my deck. So the only deck I work with now, this is my poor beaten up deck. Oh, these cards must get shuffled 40 or 50 times a day, right? So they work for their living. They're not, hello, hi Tracy. Thank you. That's very sweet. Yeah. Do you use the deck, Tracy? Is this a deck that you use? And tell me when you can. Good. Yay. All right. All right. I know you, Tracy, anyway, don't I? I'm sure, yes, we've connected before. I'm glad you love it. I love it too. Okay, so let me have a look at these little emailed questions. If Tracy, if you want to ask anything while you're on, just jump in and ask. I'll be happy to answer whatever. I've got a question here from my my client, Karine. Karine wants to know about Ricky, and she wants to know whether there is any chance that Ricky will get back in touch. Oh, Karine. All right, let's have a look. So what we do is we shuffle. Okay. And we ask the question silently. Should we say, because what we want to do is we want to make the question unambiguous. Okay, it's really important to have an unambiguous question, especially if we want some sort of a yes or no answer. So what we're going to do is we're going to just go, okay, Karine, what should Karine prepare for regarding contact from Ricky in the next 6 months? That'll do, I think, I hope. All right, Karine, let's have a look. Okay, what should Kareem prepare for regarding contact from Ricky in the next 6 months? So we've got the Six of Swords. Okay, so see, I would say that this is probably not going to lead to contact. The Six of Swords is a card called transition. Okay, and it's talking about moving away from a current situation and moving towards a different situation that is as yet maybe not necessarily undecided, but sort of unknown, not very clear. So the point of it is, it's an emotional journey that's taking you across this, because this is water. Water in tarot, right, is the Suit of Cups, which is emotion and feeling. So we're in swords. So we're thinking our way across an emotional landscape. And that is to take us on a journey away from our present situation. So if we were to look at this and we were to say, what will she experience regarding contact from Ricky? Well, this isn't going to be a reconciliation energy for me. This is basically saying this is a journey of separation, I think. Okay. And especially for Tracy, even if Ricky gets in touch, and this is the trouble with yes no questions, tarot wants to add value. So this says, even if Ricky gets in touch, it will just be part of this ongoing journey. It would just be part of her moving on from the situation and part of the transition, okay, that they both have to make. So I would say probably no, but if yes, it won't be the reconciliation that you want, Karine, and that actually making that transition and moving on is actually the best thing. Okay, so that's what that card would tell me, and that's why when we look at the card, that's why I'm coming to that conclusion. Okay, so let's have a look. What else, hold on, what else have I got here? I've got okay, I've got Andy. Okay, good. Okay, Andy wants to know, will he have a new job in the next 3 months? That's nice and clear, isn't it? Will Andy have a new job in the next 3 months? Okay, so Andy M, this is for you. All right, let's have a look. So what should Andy prepare for regarding getting a new job in the next 3 months? Six of Cups. Now, the Six of Cups is the emotional bridge between the past and the present. Okay, so what it's doing, it's referring us back to something we've done before. It's referring us back to an experience that we've had before. Now, it could be that what this is telling him is he's going to go back to a role of some sort that he has done previously. Okay, that could easily be the case. Whatever it is, now this doesn't give you a slam dunk yes. It's actually doing what tarot does, and I talk about this in the video. It asks a question in return. So what it's trying to do is it's trying again to add some value. So look, I've got to tell you, I don't think this looks like a slam dunk yes, right? I don't think it does. It could be that he's going back to a previous role. Maybe. I think more likely Andy has been in this situation before, looking for a job, and that he's going to repeat what happened last time. And so this is a familiar situation to him. And so what happens here is he needs to be informed by what he did before. because I think that's going to solve his problem. Okay, so Andy wants a new job over the next 3 months. What should he experience? What he experienced before. That's what it's saying. So I think what it's telling him to do is draw on that memory, draw on that experience, and do that, and that will help. It will help the process in some way. But I wouldn't bet the ranch that that is a slam dunk yes. I think it's an instruction of what to do. Now, look, obviously, when we're doing one card, yes or no answers, if I was doing this for a client, I'd want more information on that. But I'm not going to do that. We're going to be really strict today, and we're going to just completely do properly one card, and we're going to come to a conclusion on that one card and be very disciplined about this. I'm not going to cheat and take any other additional information cards, which it's not cheating, but, you know, we're going to do one card and stick to one card. So I don't think that's a yes, but I think it's guidance is what it is. So Andy, there's going to be something you remember about looking for a job before, I think, and it's telling you to be guided by, if you want a job in the next 3 months, be guided by that information that you've already experienced. Okay, that's good. I'll try not to waffle. I do waffle. I am like tarot. I am quite chatty. All right. So what else have we got? I'll do another question from my list in a moment. But what I thought I might do is, because one of the things that all of tarot readers contend with are love readings. Okay, love readings are really important, and so I suppose what we want to do is we want to look at how to angle the cards in a way that, like with the job reading. Now look, the Six of Cups is not primarily a work card, is it? And if that was a love reading, that would be referring back to a previous emotional experience, or maybe somebody coming back, depending on the question. But when we angle it back to something that you've done before, something that you've been through before, an emotional memory, we can angle it to whatever the context of the reading is. And that's the point here. The trouble is with book readings. Yes, I know. Thank you, Tracy. Yeah. There's just, you always think of another thing to say, don't you, when you waffle? There's always another thing. Oh, and another thing. Okay, so when you look at book readings or book meanings, what you've got is you've got a lot of information, and a lot of information about symbolism, a lot of information about, I don't know whether the card is in Aries or whether this and the that and the this and that. Actually, your best bet is to make it really, really simple, and to boil the card down to maybe even one phrase or two at most, and really try and distill the card's message down to a single point, and then ask yourself what that has got to say about the situation you're asking about. And that's how you can make more sense of book readings. Now, I know in a lot of book meanings you have lots of different, lots of different sort of ideas around what the cards might mean, but there will be an overarching theme. Keep it simple. Really, really important. This Occam's razor, right? The simpler you can make it, the closer you'll get to the truth. You do not want to go into a whole load of flowery language that is just going to confuse things. Okay, so let's just look at that thorny question. The question that Karine, well, that was a question about contact, but let's talk about will they come back? That is a big, huge question that everybody that reads tarot will get asked sooner or later, or if you're just looking at tarot, probably you have wanted to ask sooner or later. So Will they come back? So if you ask the question, will they come back, and you take a card and you get this card, let's see, oh, that way, Ace of Swords. So the Ace of Swords, will they come back? The Ace of Swords tells you there is a problem with your thinking. Now remember, what I keep banging on about is that tarot wants to add value. So this is saying there is a problem. The problem is the way you're thinking. You need to think differently. That's the problem. Right? The problem isn't him coming back. The problem is him coming back. That's the problem. So the problem is the fact that you're not asking the right question. Probably what you should be asking is, should he come back? Or what will be the result of him coming back? So tarot is literally jumping in and giving you information about the fact that you've asked yes or no, and tarot doesn't want to answer yes or no because it isn't in your interest to answer yes or no. Because basically, if it answers yes, he will, right? Yes, maybe he will. That doesn't say he won't. But it does say there is a big problem in the mix. So what it's saying is that whatever happens, we've got a problem here. So either the problem is you're asking the wrong question, or the problem is, yes, he'll come back. And that's going to lead you to another problem. Look, what we think is, will he come back? Because we want to be happy, right? Because we think that person coming back is going to make us happy. And that's what we want. Take my pain away. Come back. Take my pain away. We can be happy. I love you. Therefore, it'll be okay. If you, all you have to do is come back, and it'll be okay. This card says no, it won't. Thinking that you're adopting in this is wrong. So it's very important that we look at this. New insight is needed. I love the Ace of Swords. I always think, Houston, we've got a problem. When it's like, you can just imagine them up in the shuttle, can't you? And if one of them took a tarot card and they had a problem with the engine, you know, that thing, Houston, we've got a problem. The engines won't work. It's the ocean. If they took a tarot card, it would be the Ace of Swords. God, I like it. It is telling us, Tracy, it is telling us to think a better thought. And I think it's asking us to review how we're thinking as well, huh? Because sometimes we don't know, do we? We're so caught up in a train of thought. We're so caught up with what we think is going to make us feel better that we can't think our way through. Now, a lot of people have big problems with the Suit of Swords, and I think it might be a good idea here to tell you how I see the Suit of Swords. So the Suit of Swords, when you're learning tarot, you look at the Suit of Swords and you go, oh my God, they're horrible. I hate the pictures. I don't like them. And you slide off them. Hold on 1 second. Right, you slide off them. Let me just find one of the, there you go. This is the life code 10 of Swords. You can imagine how much fun this is showing this to a client. Not. So here we go. Here's the life code 10 of Swords. And it's what we have is we have the victim outline, don't we? We have the victim outline. So we have overkill. This is my twisted sense of humor coming into play here. We have overkill and we have a victim. This is like, you know, homicide victim thing, right? And so what this person has done is they have made themselves a victim. And they are overkilling, right? It's over the top. So when this card comes up, we look at it and we immediately go, oh my God, that's horrible, take it away. So what Swords are telling us is there is a problem with the way we're thinking, right? And that is because we are being influenced by emotion. Now, there is a difference between emotion and feeling. That's really, really important. So we can be influenced by feeling. Feeling is a true thing. I feel really sad right now. There's nothing victimy about that. That's just a statement of fact. I feel really sad. I feel really scared right now. There's an honesty to it. However, oh my God, we're all gonna die. It's gonna be terrible. I'm gonna be left on my own for the rest of my life with 13 cats on a 1-bar electric fire. That's drama. That's out of control emotion, not proper feeling. You're not getting to the feeling. And so what the Ten of Swords is telling you is take the emotion out of it, calm down, one true thought or one true feeling. And that's your going back to your ace, because after the 10, we always go back to the ace. So every single swords card is a warning that your thinking is about to cause you a problem, right? It's your thinking that's causing the problem. And that is because there is emotion in play or not enough feeling in play. Because we've been taught, haven't we, that swords don't like cups. They don't. And that's not entirely true. They don't trust incendiary emotion. They don't trust turbulent emotion. What they trust and what swords are quite happy to be guided by is proper feeling. So the Suit of Swords only comes up when there is a warning. It's like a warning light on the dashboard that says, you know, there's a problem with the fuel. You need to pay attention. You're about to have an issue. The engine management light, right? Or low fuel thing. Look, you need to pay attention. You need to take action. And that's what the Suit of Swords are talking about. Okay. So let's have a look. Let's do another version of Will He Come Back, shall we? And see if we can get a completely different energy. Oh, God. Another swords card. Okay, well, that's what we've got. So that's what we'll talk about. So another swords card. So in this deck, you can see we have a skeleton playing chess because it's quite literally stalemate, isn't it? Stalemate is when no one's making the next move. So this is probably not for the foreseeable future. He's not going to do anything. He's not going to make the decision to come back. It's Two of Swords. It would be easy to say, well, he hasn't made the decision, so maybe he will make the decision, right? But that's not what the card's saying. Because when we look at the Two of Swords, we know the reason why he's not making the decision is because he hasn't got enough feeling. He can't think his way through. He can't logic his way to a decision. And he doesn't have enough feeling to act instinctively. He's not drawn to do it. He's not inspired to do it. There's just nothing here, which is, it's like he's just looking at, do I contact? Do I not contact? I don't have enough. There's no fuel. There's no fuel here at all. So I would say that was a slam dunk no, because he's not going to make the next move. He's not going to. He's just going to leave it sat in midair. And this is a tough one if you're looking for some kind of closure, right? If you feel that someone just ghosted you, which happens, and you get stuck with the Two of Swords, and it just feels like, well, what? We're just in no man's land here. And that's the trouble. So in this instance, you have to find your own closure. You have to make the decision for him, even though you don't want to. You have to, because he's not going to do it for you. Or she. Could be either. Okay. What do you think, Tracy? What's a good question that you'd like me to draw a card for, even as an experiment? What would you like me to ask? As it's you and me here tonight. Let's see. Right. While Tracy thinks about that, I'll draw another card. Right. Let's see. Okay. So, okay. Let's ask the question, is there a future? Is there a future for this person? Oh, will I meet a fun partner this year? Oh, okay. I like that, Tracy. Let's do that. Will I meet a fun partner this year? Okay, let's do it. Okay. Oh, Tracy, it's referring it back to you, darling. So you've got the High Priestess. So that's answering a question with a question, isn't it? Will you meet a fun partner this year? How do you feel about that? What is your intuition telling you? Yeah? That's a bit naughty, isn't it? That's because you read tarot, Tracy. That's why. That's because it's saying you already know the answer. That's what it's telling you. Because you read tarot anyway. It's going, yeah, come on, you know. So what do you think, Tracy? What does your intuition tell you? I like the ooh. Are you feeling positive? Damn it, tarot. Yes, I know. I know. Good. Good. Well, that's really nice, isn't it? Because what tarot's done is it's tuned into you and it's gone, come on, you already know the answer to that, girl. Have faith in have faith in your energy, have faith in your intuition. Go. I hear you. That's really nice. No, don't think maybe. Think yes. Think yes. Slam dunk yes. I like that. So sweet. Good stuff. Well, that was good. It's such fun when that happens. I love it. Okay. Oh, hold on. I forgot. I'd put this off, but I've got who have I got? I've got two more questions. So I've got Kareem, which is actually a guy. Kareem is a guy. Types. What? I don't understand. Types. Yes. Oh, good. Good. Absolutely. All right. So Kareem is a chap, and Kareem is going through a difficult situation. Actually going through a split up. Hello, Jay. Welcome. We're having a private party here, and you're very welcome to join us. Okay, so this is for Kareem. Now, Kareem is going through a difficult situation. He's going through a divorce, and he wanted me to draw a card for him as guidance around his divorce, which he doesn't want, by the way. Okay, so I said I would do that on this call for him. Okay, so let's see. Oh, well, Kareem has the King of Pentacles. So it's telling him, now look, The King of Pentacles, because it's a king, it's taking charge, right? Kings in tarot take charge, and they know how to do stuff. So they're experts a lot of the time. That's why they're kings, right? So this king is in charge of resources. Now, obviously, what we're going to do is we are going to we often think of pentacles as just being money. And probably in this instance, because we're talking about a divorce, that's probably part of it, of course. But it's more than that, isn't it? It's telling him he's got to step up and be in charge of all of the resources. So property, money, everything that makes his life the way he wants to make it, right? He's got to be in charge. So even though he doesn't want this divorce, what he might be tempted to do is to just try and be Mr. Nice Guy. Now, it's not telling him to be horrible. It's not telling him to be the King of Swords. Not that the King of Swords is by nature horrible, but it's not. It's telling him just to literally show up in charge and not to sell himself short, I think. Right? This is not the Queen. There isn't any compromise here. He is the boss. And he has to say what happens. So, Karine, guidance around your divorce is that you have to make sure that this negotiation is one that leaves you with all of the resources in your life that you need and that will make your life good moving forward. So that's interesting, and I have a feeling that maybe Karine would be wanting to just maybe just sign stuff off, just take everything, just take it, I don't want it, because he's coming from a very emotional position. And I think the cards are telling him not to do that, to be in charge of the management of all those resources, and to understand that he is the one that's in charge of his world and he needs to take responsibility for that. Well, that's a big message, isn't it? Yes. Very interesting. Okay, Jay, do you want to ask me a question? You're on this call. Do you want to ask me a question? Do you read tarot? Very happy for you to ask a question. Okay, so I have one more emailed question, and that's for Susan. All right. Now, Susan it's an interesting question because she has fallen out with her best friend. And so it's a relationship question, but not a romantic relationship question. So Susan's fallen out with her best friend, and she doesn't know why. Her best friend's just not speaking to her. And it's very upsetting. She just has sort of gone cold and just won't. Well, I suppose fallen out is not the right word. She's just gone cold and just not interacting with the friendship, and it's very upsetting. And so Susan wanted to know if I could draw a card that might shed some light on what is going on for Susan's best friend. I'm not going to say the name of Susan's best friend because that would be a bit specific, and I wouldn't want that to be out in the public domain. But anyway, okay, so let's see. the Fool. So the Fool is something that happens very spontaneously, isn't it? And it's also almost like a leap of faith or a new beginning in some way. So I guess only Susan would be able to say, but it seems to me, so if Susan's best friend has gone cold on her, and this is what's at the root of why she's gone cold, it seems to me that probably I'm just gonna tune into this here. Do you know what I think? I think potentially something happened with one of them, that they did something spontaneously. Probably Susan has done something spontaneously on the spur of the moment, and that has upset her friend, because this is like a jump all of a sudden, isn't it? It's like just like it's not, there's no thought in the Fool. There's no ill intent either, but it's just a bit of a leap of faith. Just like, do it, just do that, right? So I wonder, perhaps, if, I mean, I'm jumping here because of course it could be Susan's friend has just decided to have a new start and clean slate, but I don't think so, because that doesn't feel right, does it? It doesn't feel right that should just happen in midair with no basis. So I have a feeling that what's happened is perhaps Susan spontaneously did a thing. Maybe, I don't know, she did a thing and didn't invite Susan, maybe not Susan, didn't invite her friend. It's a tricky one, but something happened that was a spontaneous act, and that, I reckon, has caused offence or upset behind the scenes. And her friend has now pulled back. Now, I will have to consult with Susan on that and see if I'm barking up the right tree. But that's how it feels to me. It doesn't feel like that is her friend jumping into something new. It doesn't feel like that. Because it's not like she's gone completely dark. She's just gone cold. So I think it's in response to this. And I think this was something that Susan's done, which which would have had no ill intent behind it. It's innocent. The Fool is innocent, isn't it? That's the point. It's zero. It contains nothing in it at all. It's just a thing that happens spontaneously with no intent to cause upset. And maybe Susan didn't even realize. I'm sure she didn't, because the Fool is innocent of all knowledge. So that's what I think. And that'll be interesting. Yes, well, hopefully that's an interesting card. So you can see what I'm doing here, right? You can see that what I'm doing is I'm taking the core message in the card and I'm using it to answer the question. Now, what's really important in when we're doing this is that we keep our question front and center. And often what we do is we ask our question, we take the card, and then we concentrate on trying to figure out what the card means, and we forget the question, right? So if you've got a yes/no question, you need to keep both things front and center. So you need to go, okay, this is my question, clear, concise, and strong. And this is the card, and this is the simplest version of the card that I can come up with. So the Fool is, for me, what jumped out was innocent of knowledge, spontaneous and innocent of knowledge, right? And for me, if you then say what's caused the fallout, now you've got an answer, right? Now it's answered the question. So that's the way to do it. You've got to boil the card down to its absolute distilled meaning, and then come to your question and then make the two work together, and then you'll get an answer that makes sense. You don't want to confuse it with loads of different possibilities. Not going to work. Okay. All right. So they're my email questions done. So Jay, you're on this live, darling. How are you? What's brought you here? Let's hear a little thing for you. There's only the three of us on this call today. We may as well all make the most of it. This is the first time I've done this, Jay, so probably not many people know about it. And to be quite honest with you, I wasn't too unhappy that not many people knew about it, because I wasn't really sure how I was going to do it. But anyway, kind of cool. Jay is a reader. He's fabulous. Excellent. Well, hello, Jay. Lovely to meet you. How do you know each other? Tracy, have you read together before? Jay is being very shy, so I'm asking you instead. Okay. All right. So one of the questions I often get asked as well is about the thorny subject of reversals. What do you do if you're asking a question? Sugar Plum Tarot. Oh, lovely. Oh, what a nice name. I like that. Very nice. Now, the one thing that I have never done and will never do is read reversals. And that's a thing. That's my thing. Oh, cool. That's great. Yes, we're all Tabby members then, aren't we? That's awesome. Am I going to see you guys at the conference in July? Are you both coming? Hope so. In Manchester, I think it is, isn't it? It is in Manchester. Right, so reversals. Now, reversals, I think, are annoying. Look, I know I'm in the minority here. And almost every tarot reader I know reads reversals. Hello, Giovanna. How are you? Lovely to see you. Oh, Tracy, you're in the US, of course. But I think they're doing a live stream, Tracy. I'm almost certain there'll be a live stream. So hopefully, you know. Yes, Giovanna, lovely to see you. Do you want to ask me a question, Giovanna? Okay. Oh, well, Giovanna's thinking about that. I'm going to talk a little bit more about reversals. Reversals have become absolutely de rigueur, and I see so many people. Yeah, well, go ahead, Giovanna. That's fine. You type it there, and I'll answer for you. Did the live stream? You want to come and play with? Yes, you should. You should come, Tracy. I'm doing a presentation in July, so it'll be lovely. So reversals are a tricky one. Everybody does them, except me. I don't do them, and the life code doesn't allow for them because it's a one direction deck, and that was intentional because I think tarot is amazing and fantastic, and it doesn't need you to double the amount of cards. If you do it right, it'll give you all the information you need in exactly the way you need it. So, you know what? We did have it. And look, I'm not saying it doesn't work. It does work if you apply really strict rules to it. You do need to apply really, really strict rules to it, though, and you need to decide what your boundaries are with regards to, is it a blocked card? If it's a reverse card, is the energy blocked or is the energy reversed? You have to make those decisions, because the trouble is, it ends up a bit of a, for me anyway, I'm sure other people have got it down, but for me, I think it ends up as a bit of a muddy mess, if I'm honest with you, and that's muddy, not bloody. And I've seen so many readers on YouTube taking cards and just like, oh yes, the card is reversed, and then they talk about, and they're just talking about the upright version. They don't even bother reversing it. It's just completely maddening. So you don't need it. I don't need it. Nobody needs it. It's just a thing that everybody has started to do, and I don't understand it personally. I've never used it in 20 years. I've never done a reading for a client with a reversal. That's just me. I tried to pull a card and I got the Emperor. I feel like it's no. Right, hold on. Let me read your question, Giovanna. Hold on. Thinking about changing job for a while, but every time I try and apply, interview was out. I feel my interest tenure change. I tried to pull a card and I got the Emperor. I feel like it's a no. I would say that's probably a no. I'd say that's a no. Because, of course, it's all about control, isn't it? And discipline and taking the emotion out of it, and really managing yourself in a way that's quite strict. Okay, I'll take a card for you and let's see what it says. But I would agree that that would probably be a no. Certainly it would be a no at the moment. Let's have a look. Okay, so Giovanna. Okay, let's have a look. Ah, okay. Interesting. Interesting. Right, good. You've got the Knight of Cups. So that's really interesting, especially if we look at it in harmony with your Emperor card. Because what that says is that you're possibly being a little bit idealistic about things. Because the question I asked was, what should guide Giovanna? What should guide her? No, did I ask what should guide her? No, I asked what should she know? That's what I asked. What should she know? It's important to get it right. What should she know about changing jobs right now? So what we've got is we've got something that's a little bit idealistic. Now you chose the Emperor, which is the antithesis of this, isn't it? Because this is like an idealistic heart journey. And the Emperor is telling you, don't do the emotional thing. It's important to just hold firm right now, right? So this means that you're perhaps being a little bit, a little bit emotional in your search, and there's too much. It's almost a bit of a vocational card, isn't it? So obviously, I don't know what you're doing in your search, but I think it's telling you that right now, this potentially is, because I'm pairing it with your Emperor card. Right now, I think potentially you're being a little bit too, that's I want this. Right now, if I was to take that as a guidance card, right? If we were going to take it as a guidance card, we could say, make sure your emperor, make sure your aspirations are properly front and center, and you're not being swept away by emotion, but if it's a vocation, you need to be very clear and very disciplined about exactly what it is you want. Again, not being overly emotional about it, right? You can't be like too soft about this. So what it's saying is that if indeed you have a vocational journey to make, which the Knight of Cups could easily be, if we apply the Emperor to that, what they're saying is you've got to be very, very disciplined and very focused on exactly what it is you want, and almost not get pulled off by oh, that would be lovely, or that would be lovely, right? How does that sound, Giovanna? Does that resonate with you at all? It does. Good. Good. Does it help you? Does that add anything that helps you? Ah, there you go. I've been applying to jobs that look nice, but maybe not really what I want. Well, there you are. Well, I think that's really good, isn't it? Because that makes perfect sense. Wonderful. So both cards were helpful, weren't they? Because it wasn't a no, it was just to rein it in and get really disciplined about what it is you actually want. And if you can't do that, then no. So yeah, I like that. Isn't that great? Very nice. Very good. That's really good. Okay. Lovely. Right. So that's my pleasure. And isn't it interesting to look at how two cards work together like that? Oh, thank you. You're amazing. And tarot too. Oh, no. Tarot is. I'm just the postman. That's all. Yes. So isn't it lovely when we watch the two cards work in harmony with each other? I think that's really nice when we look at how they're talking to each other and how one is adding to the next one. So one of the things that I always teach and is really, really important is that we never, ever disregard any card that somebody's pulled, right? It's really important. The card's never wrong. It's just that we don't understand it. So we absolutely must honor any card that's been drawn. Now, what we don't want to do is just take loads and loads of cards, and that then the message has just got completely confused. And anybody who's experienced in tarot will tell you, don't do that. That realize madness, right? However, if like Giovanna did, she took one card, that was great. And so what I was able to do is I was able to piggyback on that card and add the context to the Emperor card so that we could see what the message actually was. Okay. And that's great. When we see the cards working together in harmony like that, it makes perfect sense. And if we can get used to, oh, been setting up my own business, but you have a beautiful, oh, thank you so much. That's so lovely. Jay, I understand you're a reader as well. And are you in the UK, Jay, or are you in the States like Tracy is? You're in the UK. Great. Do feel free to ask me a question if you'd like, Jay. I'd be very happy to answer. Oh, Scotland. Excellent. Both my kids are in Scotland. One's in Kirkcaldy. Oh, I'm so embarrassed. I always say it wrong. Kirkcaldy, just north of Edinburgh, and one is in Glasgow. Sad for me. Okay. All right. So that's a long way to come to Manchester, I guess, isn't it? You're in the middle of nowhere. Is it beautiful, though? Is the nowhere beautiful, Jay? I hope so. I hope it's a beautiful nowhere. Most places in Scotland that are nowhere are beautiful. So if you're able to answer, how do you see my business going? Okay. Let's ask. Happy to do that. Oh. Well, that's all right. Okay, so this is for Jay's business. Let's have a look. Okay, I'm not going to stick with that card. Now, not because it's a bad card, right? Because it isn't. But I'm going to ask for another card for you, Jay, because I want to follow on from it. I want to know what comes after. So bear with me. I'm going to ask 2 questions for you, right? Hold on. Okay, good. All right, that'll do. Right, I've just been tarot slapped. Right, so the question we asked was, how do you see my business going? Okay, so what we have is we have the lovely 9 of Swords. So Jay, you know, you're a reader, so you know that this is just fear, right? You know that fear is going to be your hurdle. And the reason that I took another card was because I asked behind the scenes, okay, so we've got a lot of anxiety here. So Jay potentially could be tripped up by this fear of the worst case scenario. Now, we all know when we look at this card, it's the nightmare card, right? It's just looking at the worst case scenario, and it's just our mind playing tricks. It isn't real. Absolutely isn't real, right? Okay, that's fine. So that's your problem. And when I asked, okay, so if Jay bypasses this fear, what does she need to know about her business being successful? Now, what do we get? We've got the Ace of Swords, which tells us, Houston, you got a problem, Jay, because your fear is not that simple. It isn't that simple. And if you're not careful and you don't properly address it, it's going to mess you up. It's going to trip you up. I said, what does Jay need to know? Completely, you know, outside of the 9 of Swords, right? Outside of that, what does she need to know about making her business successful? And we've got the Ace of Swords, which is your thinking needs to change, right? And you need to come outside. Do you remember, I don't know if you were here earlier when we were talking about emotion, the difference between emotion and feelings. And I actually did use the example of, I am afraid right now. I am afraid. That is a true feeling. Jay is afraid. She's petrified, right? Sounds like the precursor to a disco song, doesn't it? Right? She is afraid. But the trouble is that your fear, right? I've already said it's not going to work and I need to change that fear. Yes. Yes. Because whatever you decide, you're right. If you decide it's not going to work, it won't. End of. And that is going to trip you up, and you have to drill down into that fear and come out the other side. So let me just ask for you, because this is a tough one, right? It's really tough. There's no doubt about that. We humans have the most amazing creative capacity for terrorizing ourselves, don't we? Endlessly creative ways of torturing ourselves. Okay, and that's what that is. That's all that is. So let me ask, what is your way through? What can you do to move through this to the truth beyond? Right? Oh, that's really nice. 10 of Cups. So you need to be happy in yourself. See, I wonder if you're putting a lot of weight on this business. Because if we're trying to manifest something from a position of need or lack or fear, in fact, then the whole thing is infused with that energy. So what it's telling you is that this 10 of Cups, right, which is your happy place, you have to build the business from that. You have to fuel it with happiness and love and a feeling that you're going to connect with people around you and be happy with that. So that has to be in your own environment, and then that will move out into the ether. I'm self-employed and it's really not been working out, and I'm like, I really need this to work. Okay, so I think you need to step back. Yeah, no, I know. It's really hard. It's really, for so many years, Jay, I absolutely 100% refused to make my tarot into a business. Refused. I had people saying, "Oh, Janis, come on, you should do this. You should do this." Like, no, I'm not going to. I'm not going to, because it'll strip the joy right out of it. I'm not going to do it. I would do the odd reading for money, and I would do the odd fair, and I would do the odd event, but I didn't want to make it my professional business. Now, I got corralled into it. Ultimately, I ended up that I just got maneuvered. But the fact is, it can be really hard. And there is no doubt about that. But here's the thing. If you put front and center that I will attract the right clients for me, I will attract the clients that I can help with my energy and my experience, and then just allow and take any desperation and fear out and just go, let's just do this as an experiment and take it back to the beginning and start again. And I think if you do that and you come back to why you read tarot in the first place, and you just take it back to ground zero, and if you can, and I know this is not easy, but if you can, take the emotional pressure off, not the emotional pressure, take the financial pressure off yourself. Because the trouble is, when you've got that pressure on you, it's really, really hard to find the joy and the love in it. It's very difficult. It's not easy. So perhaps just step back for now and allow it, and just put it out there. I want to find the clients that I can serve that are a perfect match for me, because there will be. Right? I know readers in the area that I am here, they have a completely different client base to me. I wouldn't want their client base. They don't come to me. I don't even see them. Yeah, but you'll find your self-worth, Jay. You'll find it by attracting those clients. It's not about good enough, sweetie. It's not about good enough. Take that off the table. Of course you're good enough. Don't be ridiculous. Of course you're good enough. It's not even a question, right? You're there to translate the energy. And if you're open and you just allow, the energy will work through you. You'll get the answers. It's really important that you don't do the good enough, right? Don't do that, because that's gonna really mess you up. Come to every reading innocent. Come to every reading just asking for the information. Just give it up. Give up control. Give it up. Right? You're not there to be good enough. You're just there as a channel. It's not about good enough. It's just about open. And okay, you know, even now when I read for a client, I say, please connect me to this client's energy over all space and all time and all dimensions. Please give me the information that they need to hear in a way they can understand and in a way I can understand and can deliver to them in a way they'll get. And then I get out of the way. It's not my job to be in the way. It's only my job to just be the postman. Right? And same with you. You're good enough. Of course you are. It's not about good enough. If they want to work with you, they'll work with you, sweetie. Right? It's just about you showing up for them and opening to them. Why are you letting him down? Gosh, you're giving yourself a hard time, aren't you? Why are you letting him down? I don't think he would want you to be so afraid, huh? I'm sure your friend would be cheering for you from the sidelines saying, come on, like Tracy is. You're amazing. You're so intuitive. Come on. Jay, I've got an idea. I've got a great idea. Why don't you, and I won't do this for you, right? Because I think this is your journey. When we come off this call, could I invite you to sit quietly and light a candle in front of you, shuffle the cards and ask your friend what your friend's guidance for you is with regards to your tarot business. Yeah? Ask your friend what his guidance for you is, right? And see what comes up. Because you know we can so why don't you ask him? Why don't you ask him? And then promise yourself you'll follow his advice. Would that work? Because he loves you, right? Of course. He loves you. And he hasn't gone away. He's probably mad with you right now. He's probably going, come on. He's probably going, I want to say something. I know, sweetie, but that's okay, you know. It's just feeling. That's all right. I have tissues. Whenever I read for clients, I have tissues put aside. I make everybody cry. It's my speciality. Absolutely. We all need a good cry. I'm sorry, but we do. Better out than in, as they say. All right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to wrap up now. Now I've reduced everybody to tears. I'm going to wrap up. I'm going to take one card for us to say goodbye. And I'm going to, because I'm going to ask Spirit, to say goodbye with one card. And I always like to say thank you as well to the energy that works through the cards. Absolutely, Giovanni. He certainly is. Okay. So this is our message from Spirit for tonight. And this is for us all. Ah, look at that. 3 of Wands. That's quite nice, isn't it? So we all need to basically to expand our vision, right? Definitely. I mean, for all of us, I think that's really good. That works for Giovanna, doesn't it? That works for you, sweetie. That works for you, Jay, because you're fed up with being where you are. I'm presuming that works for Tracy as well, because she's over in America and she's looking over here. And right now, everybody in America needs our love. So we need to send them our good wishes and we pray for you. To whatever God we wish to pray to. All right, so we're all looking out, we're all expanding our vision. That's what we're doing, and that's really lovely. So I think that's actually right for us all right now, isn't it? Eh? How sweet is that? Very nice. All right, so I'm going to say good night, and I will be back here next Tuesday. And if you can join me, that would be absolutely lovely. But in the meantime, have a lovely, lovely week. And I will see you all next week. Maybe. See you soon. Bye-bye.